Here we go, gotta get to the right page. Page, baby, you're a fabulous person. Hello strangers, I'm Rachel Venner, and this is my wrap up for the ContemporaryAThon Round 2. I tried daily vlogging the ContemporaryAThon, that didn't really go well. Like, I filmed basically every day, there's like stuff filmed for every day, but I haven't edited since day one. And I don't remember why, just like, it got away from me. I just didn't feel like editing for a while. I let things slip. I kind of got in an editing slump and I thought best not to push that. I don't know, those vlogs might see the light of day, they might not. I'll see how I feel. So these are the books that I read or started doing the ContemporaryAThon. So let's get into the books I read and what challenges these books would have fitted. I started the readathon by reading a graphic novel, which was My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness by Nagata Kabi? Nagata Kabi? Maybe? So this is like a memoir. It's actually technically a manga, but like there's no difference except style and the way you read them. But they're still like illustrated pictures, illustrated works. So this book actually fits a lot of the challenges. It's got like mental health issues, lesbian, so it would like fit divorce. Nagata hires an escort, so taboo. Apparently this was actually really hyped, but I didn't have it hyped for me. And it's pink, so I think there's like a lot of other things that needed to, and obviously graphic novel. Nobody recommended this to me, so that's like the one thing I didn't get. I also like recently bought it. It's like the most recent graphic novel I own anyway, so there's that. I then read Speak by Laurie Allison. I'm gonna do a review on this, like a silent protagonist review thing that I do, because I've heard a lot of things about how the main character doesn't speak, but actually reading it, she does speak quite a lot for a silent protagonist. But this is like old school book. It also deals with like really dark stuff, like trigger warning for rape, sexual assault, and like self-harm. Nobody really else, I've not really seen anyone else talk about the fact that the main character like self-harms a lot. Like she doesn't, it's more like picking her skin until she bleeds and like biting her lips and stuff until they bleed. So, but like, I mean, that's still forms of self-harm. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's almost 20 years old and it deals with a lot of stuff okay, I guess, for the age group and like the year it came out. I get it, but like we've moved on slightly from what I'd want a book dealing with those sort of issues to talk about. I would like, it was not in depth enough for me, if that makes sense, and wasn't really much of a silent protagonist on that front either. She does kind of stop talking to her parents, but we don't really see we're never ever given a before. I don't know. I then read Midnight Sun by Trish Cook. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. This was the worst book I read during the readathon. It's really emotionally manipulative, I think, because it really wanted to be this like tearjerker thing. I think it wanted to be 4.5 stars, but with a kooky, unusual disorder, which was XP is like the shortened thing, and it's basically people who are allergic to UV light, so can't go out in the sun, or they'll get like major burns and like cause like bad things to happen to them, like could intentionally kill them, like give them like it's like skin cancer almost immediately, kind of bad, like even from like seconds. XP, while being a rare disorder, I've watched several documentaries about XP because I like watching documentaries, so I've watched documentaries about a lot of things. So I knew stuff and I was like, what type of XP? I was like, I don't know how XP didn't sound realistic. I did look it up, and it is a real form of XP. There's just different versions of this disorder. There's different types. So, fine. That's just my ignorance. But I think, like, I really hated the ending, and it just, ugh. It's like, it's a 300-page book, and it wants to be this big emotional thing, and it just, no. Like, you wanted to be everything in Fault in Our Stars, and it's just, no, go away. So I wouldn't recommend it. I never bought it. There's gonna be a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. I don't know when that's coming out. The cover is so pretty though, isn't it? That's the main reason I got it from the library. I'm glad I didn't buy this book, but there was times where I thought, like, maybe I should start reading this, and then I got so far in, I'm like, well, I may as well finish reading this so I can just unabashedly hate it. So, there's that. There's better books out there, like, read something else. I mean, I don't think anyone with XP is going to be really that delighted about reading this book either, so I don't know, like, who wants to read it? Throughout this whole process, I've basically been reading The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. Had a really hard time getting into it, so I, like, gave up on it for a little while, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to finish it, so it was kind of like a bad reading thing going on. Like, gave up on The Woman in the Window for a little bit, and I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So this was the recommended book, and great. It was the recommended and hype book, even though it's like just, I feel like Chelsea is just a hype chain by herself, because like how much she talks about this book, and then she gets other people to read it, and then they hype about it, so she's doing a good job of promoting this book. So I really like this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's like really cute, and I know I hate on romance a lot, but like I love hate to love, like hate-based romantic relationships. I just like, this book does so many of the good things. It has such witty like back and forth between the two of them, and I love that. Like, I love two characters like on equal footing. Like, I think I hate on romances a lot because a lot of them I just hate and I can't enjoy them, but I can enjoy this one because like they're the same footing and they're going after the same goal, and like they have legit reasons to whatever. I liked it. This is a really well written book, and it's like, it's a romance I can get behind because like there's nothing really annoying about it. Like, so many why. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The reason it's not like a 5-star book is the ending. Like, I was reading it and there was like only 2% of the book left because I got it off NetGalley, so I was reading it on like the Kindle app. So I've like only got 2% left of this book, and I'm like, that's not enough time. Like, is there something up with this NetGalley? But it was the ending, like, but that was the actual ending. It wrapped up quickly and just washed over some of like the major points, because like I cared about who got the promotion. I wanted like a proper resolution for that. I guess I would have liked like an epilogue. I basically wanted like an epilogue, like a proper resolution, because like I was invested in this job thing. Maybe other people would have just been happy with how the relationship ended up, but like I wanted to know about the job thing, and I also wanted to go to the strawberry farm. So I was disappointed for things that were promised. Moving on, I then read I Hate Everyone But You by Gaby Dunn and Allison Raskin. This is like a contemporary of like two best friends are going to separate colleges, as you call it in America. So one's on the West Coast and the other one's on the East Coast, and it's told completely in the forms of like email and text messages, so like all the written communication they have between each other. And I really like it. I think it worked well for this book. Obviously this is pink and this has got some diversity, and there's also like own voices, queer rep and social anxiety in this, and I think it's done fairly well. There's also like one of the characters like needs to find like hates a therapist. You know, like you will get a lot of bad therapists. Keep looking for a good one if you can. I mean, like if you're paying someone out of your own pocket, like keep going until you find a decent one. So I really enjoyed this book. It was really quick to read. I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. It takes place right before college starts to the Christmas break, so it's like the start. I really liked it. I would recommend it, especially if you like the show. If you like their YouTube channel and like their sketches, the characters are very much so like characters that they play in Just Between Us. Like they have different names, but they basically I guess it's just so that people don't straight up think this is what went down, even though they didn't know each other when they went to college. So, well, they've known, the characters in this are meant to have known each other since high school, the first year of high school. Yeah, I did like this book and would recommend. So I then finished The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I honestly didn't know if I was going to finish it because I was just so bored and frustrated with this character who's drunk all the time for like no reason. You know, like, I'm down for unreliable narrators, but I'm kind of bored of like this person sees something they shouldn't by spying on the neighbours, and they're drunk all the time, but this time she's also agoraphobic and is like mixing pills into the equation of this drunkenness. So who knows what she's doing? That's not like a spoiler, it's like established straight on that she's on prescription and she drinks too much. It's just like, it's so much like Go on the Train, it was like hard to really get into it. And it's not like I just read Go on the Train, like that was ages ago. It's just, and like it borrows a lot from like Hitchcock as well. So I've not watched the movie it majorly references. Like, I probably have seen it, it's just one of those things where I watch tons of movies so I don't always remember them. Like, I tend to remember books more than I do films because I'm weird. So I probably have seen them, like, because I've seen a lot of like old fellas stuff. It's just I watched them when I was a child, so maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it, because it's just subconsciously, oh, this is just like everything else. And the unique like part of this book just was not enough for me. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I can't really recommend this as a thriller. It's been really overhyped. Like, the twists in it ain't original at all. It's just like, it's all been done before, and like the execution's been done before, and it's just boring at this point. Like, it was quick. I finished it. I could probably have finished it in a day if I'd actually been invested enough, but I just was not feeling it. So there's that. So this next book, I didn't actually finish listening to this through the readathon, but I have finished it now. Like, I finished it the next day, so even if I'd filmed this on Monday, like edited it or whatever, I would have finished this by then, because I just actually needed to sit and listen to it or read it. And that was The Girl in the Garden by Jewell. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, which is strange because I enjoyed this a lot more than The Woman in the Window, so I don't know why I rated them the same thing. I listened to the audiobook of this, so that probably helped me like it. There was this is also a thriller, and there was like some similarities between The Window and The Woman in the Window, and I'd been listening to this audiobook throughout the whole readathon, so I don't know if that just didn't help my enjoyment of either book. The Girls in the Garden could actually be a YA thriller for all that happens in it. Yeah, you could rework it as a YA thriller if you wanted to, but obviously Jewell mostly writes adult thrillers. There's a review, there's a written review of this book, so there's that there. I enjoyed it. It was a fine audiobook to listen to. It kind of has a cool setting of like this garden, this private garden, which is similar to Sleepless. Sleepless from like the Red Eye series also has a private garden in it, so that's always fun. I also started reading Sunflowers in February by, I don't remember, she's a debut writer. I barely started reading this though. It was just like the first few pages. I don't think I even finished the first chapter, so there's like no way I'll be including that anyway. So I have the challenges written here, so what challenges did I do? I did watch the Drunk Show. I'm only saying that because that's written down here, so I guess that was a challenge. Actually, I fell asleep, so I failed that challenge. It was like 5 AM though when I fell asleep, so I had to go to bed. So the first challenge was newly acquired. I read Speak for that, which I newly acquired from the library. Read a contemporary book with pink on the cover. Well, I read these two bad boys that had pink on the cover, but I read I Hate Everyone But You specifically for this challenge, so definitely a pass. Speak also has pink on the cover. Read a hype book. I was meant to read The Hate You Give, but I ended up reading The Woman in the Window, which was really hyped and I guess not deserved. Read a diverse contemporary. I guess I Hate Midnight Sun, but it did have a year condition tried in it. I don't think the rep. Because of what happened in this book, I don't feel like the rep can really be considered good. Like, I have a lot of problems with it. It's very... the plot and narrative is very ableist, I think. And I can't get into it without spoilers, so... But in terms of other diversity, we've got My Lesbian Experience, Loneliness, and I Hate Everything About You, both with queer representation and mental health stuff, so that's diverse. Read a dark or taboo contemporary. I was going to read The Hateless by Jennifer Brown, but to be honest, I didn't really feel like reading a book about a school shooting where there's like a bunch. When a school shooting did happen, and because the students are speaking out against it, apparently that's a conspiracy to take away machine guns from teenagers. Ugh. America, you have issues. I'm not going on an rant about gun control, so I guess I count The Girls in the Garden because that was a thriller and therefore dark. The 6th challenge was read a graphic novel, which I did. And the 7th and last challenge was read a book that was recommended to you. And I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne for that one. So, I won the ContemporaryAthon. No, I didn't finish one of those books I talked about. The Woman in the Window though could double up, so I finished 6 books. But I did all 7 challenges, so I'm happy. I was kind of in like a weird funk, I felt, doing the readathons, so I'm quite happy that I actually finished 6 books this week. So I will see you readers next time, where things will be getting strange. Farewell. I'm glad that I didn't sign up to like... I think it wanted to be Fault of this... I think it wanted to be Fault in its... I think it wanted to be Fault... Stranger Thorne.